You know, I think I've done too much PS2. I think I should do another thing. Let me look online for a game real fast. Okay, let's go GameCube exclusives. Uh, Amazing Island. What's so amazing about it? Looks like the kid on the cover art was dipped in wax and put in a museum. A house made of wax. A house of wax. But hey, it's trending, and I see Jade Animations made a video on it, so I'll do my own review on it. So let's see what prices they're on eBay. Ah, here we go. Amazing Island for the Nintendo Gamecube. How much is it? Who in their right mind would pay $100 for a game with that cover art? Well, looks like I'm going to need to do an emulator again. Let's start up a game, pick the story mode, and now we get a glimpse of the story. Over 1,000 years ago, an artist created a picture book. Let me look up when the first picture book was made. In the mid-17th century, John Comenius published what many consider to be the first picture book dedicated for education of young children. So already this game was not making any damn sense. The book was about the mysterious far-off island where all sorts of amazing creatures lived happily together. Ah, I see what you did there. The world within the book was well beloved by the people. But as time passed, the book was forgotten. Maybe you should have listened to Corey Taylor. Nowadays, you'll only come across the name of this picture book in a history text, as if it was only a mere fairy tale. Isn't the point of history text to tell stories of events that actually took place? I swear, y'all don't have a lick of sense. Now we can pick our character, and we can either be male or female. Well, it is a kid's game, so there wouldn't be a non-binary option for people into that. Well, I'm a male, so I'll pick a boy on the left. And my name is Nymphup. Now we get sucked into this world, which we have no idea how we got here. So we walk around and find this weird looking dude, and then we battle him in a minigame. That's right. This is a minigame set. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No. If the big game is boring, then yes. So let's try one of these out, shall we? Eveling Volley seems interesting enough. All we have to do is time the A button press correctly and throw the olive energy back and forth to our opponent to get him knocked off the platform before he or she does the same to us. Whew, got that pretty easily. Maybe that's because the minigame is kind of easy and that's it. After beating him, he turns good because he was corrupted by some other looking weird dude that looks like something out of the X-Files. Now we're told to come inside this tree. Next, after we leave the tree, we go to meet the king and holy mother of Jesus, this fucker's a bigot! Just by looking at him gives me tiki vibes. That looks like a bad kid's arts and crafts project made of Play-Doh. And then the kid ate it and pooped it out. And then this thing came out of the dung. The king tells us about how our worlds are in grave danger and it's being taken over by this guy called Black Evil. Makes as much sense as Mr. Dark and bad villain. He then tells us that he's not powerful enough and tells us to go do it because we have the power to do so, even though we have no superpowers, and this king, the omnipotent god of this landfill, can't be bothered to lift a fucking finger besides that stick of his to shove up his ass because he's got a staph infection. And yet he tells us to go destroy some black entity capable of shapeshifting, corrupting, and possessing your kind? Where do I sign? We're then told that we need to collect 8 vision orbs from each of the games to defeat the bad guy. Kinda like the Dragon Balls, but instead of granting a wish before scattering, they shed light of hope. And there's an extra one. To be honest though, the main character you play as looks like a crossbreed of Goten and Trunks, so they might have some explaining to do to carrot and vegetable. After leaving the king's hut, we go back to the tree and we make our own monster, which is made by a series of personal questions, and I ended up making this. I love it. Now I can personalize by badge, I mean best friend. Yeah, I'll play that one smoothly. Here's the final result. I'm gonna name him Scab, because with that one screw in his head, he'd probably have a whole bunch of them. And I also gave him a dog voice. Now we have to take a picture of him, and this, this is what she sees. Okay, now we get to the first set of minigames. The guy here tells us that it's the easiest, so I'll take his word for it, and then we get teleported to the first minigame, where we fuse inside of our monster that we made. Kind of unnecessary. Alright, the first minigame is a race. All we have to do is spam the A button to start at the right time, go the fastest, and burst through the wall with pressing the B button. That was easy. Now the next game is spamming the A button again, but we have to flick the stick at the right time across the water, which is simple enough, so let's try it out. Okay, this one, obviously, I'm not going to get on the first try, so I'm going to give it another go. Okay, this is actually kind of challenging, but it shouldn't be that hard because it's only the second minigame, so I'm going to give this one more time. Okay, this is actually starting to piss me off. Come on, it can't be that hard, can it? Right? Right? Let's give it another go. I'm dead serious when I say this, but this took me over an hour and a half to get right. The timing is not the issue, but it's the fact that you need enough speed to clear it. How can you do this without any skill involved, or at least a turbo controller? If you don't have one of those, you're as good as a loser. And by the way, if you fail a minigame 3 times, it's back to the hub world. I literally have to use 2 hands to tap the A button to get past this stage, and then readjust my hands back to normal to use the control stick. How is that fair? On top of being made for kids, I imagine kids having a much longer time than I did because I'm an adult, and kids can lose more fatigue than adults can. If you can get to first place on this minigame, you're either spending way too much time on this game or you are a god. To be fair, this is the only minigame that I have a gripe with, besides this one where I have to defeat a boss with bombs, and the camera's right behind me and I can't see where the boss is, and I only got lucky with first place. The rest of the minigames provide some challenges and they're not overly easy. Not too difficult either, and these ones I like and are somewhat fun. I won't go into too much detail, but all I will say is you have Eviling Volley as the boss battles, and beating them grants access to other parts of the hub world, including NPCs, shops, loot, and other minigames, as well as money to spend in those shops. And there are a good variety of minigames. However, some do repeat and do add some slight variation to make it different, like the next water skip adds breaking stones. The game will take some time to complete, about 5 to 6 hours in a single sitting. But if you aren't into long plays, be prepared to know that this game does not have autosave. This game cannot autosave. For 2004, that's fucking pathetic. Sure, you could save the game yourself, but you cannot autosave. Here I was thinking that I could autosave this game, so I left it another day so I could go back to it another time. Next thing you know, I found out that all of my data was gone. All of that progress. Poof! I had to start the whole entire video over. Just gone. And if you want to save, the save function isn't in the pause menu. Nope. You have to go to the king, talk to him, press system menu, and then you first have to save your monster to the memory card, then save the game, and if you don't save the monster, your monster disappears, you have to make a whole entire new one. And when you load in a saved game, you have to load in the monster that you saved. How is the kid meant to figure that shit out? Alright, I think I'm done here. I'm not going to show the full gameplay because, like I said, I lost game save data when I thought that there was autosave. So I'm not going to go through all of that trouble again. I'm just going to show you the flaws, the main flaws, and then you can pick up the story for yourself, or you can go watch Jade Animation's video because she actually did beat the game, and she did a better job on explaining the story than I did. I just wanted to explain the flaws of the game rather than the story. And of course, I'm a game review channel, she is a storyteller. We are both completely different. I'm not trying to copy her. Anyways, I'm done here. Thank y'all so much for watching. Click like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you get notified when I upload. And that helps grow this channel so that way you can show your support for smaller YouTubers. Because the YouTube algorithm is a pain in the ass. Also, leave a comment down below telling me what you guys think and tell me what video I should do next. Until then, I'll holler at y'all later. Yeah, I want to leave a side note here. Hang on. Doesn't he look like the cat that's from that meme?